We've tested the cameras of the Galaxy S10 Plus extensively in our full review, and we were quite impressed with the overall performance. But is this phone better than the Google Pixel 3 and the Apple iPhone XS? We decided to test these phones against the brand new Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. We've also tossed in the Huawei Mate 20 Pro in this test, since going by DXOMark's ratings, the Mate 20 Pro has an overall score that's higher than those of the Pixel 3 and the iPhone XS, and it is tied in with the S10 Plus. The Galaxy S10 Plus captures the most picturesque image of the four, managing excellent detail, punchy and vivid colors, and very good dynamic range, and also a pleasing HDR effect. Coming in a close second is the iPhone XS, which also does a good job with HDR and detail, but doesn't boost the colors as much as Samsung. The Mate 20 Pro overexposes a scene very slightly and also sharpens the image a bit too much for our liking. The Pixel 3 XL fails to expose the buildings correctly, and even the building and the trees in the foreground look dark and underexposed. The S10 Plus does a good job with details on our subject's shirt and hair, but we're not too pleased with the skin tone. Since this was shot outdoors with lots of natural light, the camera automatically dropped the aperture to f2.4, which is why there's not much of a bokeh effect. The iPhone XS captures better skin tones while still keeping the colors of the shirt and hair in check. We also get a decent level of natural bokeh here. Now the Mate 20 Pro manages good detail, but the skin tones are a bit on the reddish side. The Pixel 3 XL has a slightly cooler tone, but overall the details are arguably the best. In the next shot, we try a closer shot of an object to see how the cameras fare with colors and textures. The image from the S10 Plus looks a bit too oversaturated, especially the reds. The iPhone XS has the most natural looking colors while still keeping good detail. The Pixel 3 XL and the Mate 20 Pro produce slightly brighter images, which makes the colors seem a little muted compared to the other two. All phones capture excellent detail. Here, the S10 Plus introduces a new feature called Bright Night, which is supposed to improve low-light shots. Now, you'll automatically see a crescent moon icon in the viewfinder when it's on. The end result is a brighter and better lit image with good detail. Now, due to the longer exposure, you do get some flares from artificial light sources. Sharpness is maintained well on objects in the foreground, such as the tiled path. Contrast levels could have been better, which is where the Pixel 3 XL has the edge. Its image looks a bit more dramatic and lively, however, this comes at a slight cost of noise. The Mate 20 Pro goes crazy with sharpening, making the image look a little too stark. The image from the iPhone XS is well balanced, but finer details in objects at a distance end up looking too mushy. In our low-light macro test, the S10 Plus delivers excellent results in terms of color accuracy and detail. Noise is also handled very well, and the background blur or bokeh around the flower is the strongest compared to the others, thanks to the wide f1.5 aperture. The Pixel 3 XL comes in at a close second, followed by the iPhone XS, although both exhibit a bit of noise if you zoom in. The Mate 20 Pro delivers a pleasing bokeh with little noise, but we weren't too fond of the slightly washed out color tone of the final image. Now, with the exception of the Google Pixel 3 XL, the rest of the phones are equipped with a telephoto camera. The iPhone XS and the S10 Plus have 2x optical zoom lenses, while the Mate 20 Pro offers a 3x zoom. The S10 Plus manages one of the best exposures of the lot, although the colors are noticeably boosted. If you want more natural color tones, then the iPhone XS has the best quality here. The Mate 20 Pro gets us a bit closer to our subject due to the higher zoom, but colors look way artificial, and this phone completely blows out the exposure of the sky in the background. The Pixel 3 XL has a software feature called Super Res Zoom, which does a decent job with sharpness, but blacks and the shadows are very strong, making the image look a little bleak. Now, at 100% crop for each sample, we can see that the Mate 20 Pro produces the best sharpness and the least amount of noise, followed closely by the Galaxy S10 Plus. The iPhone XS manages good detail too, albeit with some noise. Finally, the Pixel 3 XL tries its best to preserve detail with its digital zoom, but it's simply not on the same level as the others. The iPhone XS and the Pixel 3 XL don't have wide-angle cameras, so they'll have to sit this one out. The S10 Plus has a slightly wider field of view than the Mate 20 Pro, but both phones do a good job correcting barrel distortion. The S10 Plus edges out the Mate 20 Pro when it comes to colors and exposure. The Mate 20 Pro does produce a slightly sharper image, but colors are weak and the exposure isn't the best. Now in low light, the S10 Plus has a brighter image compared to the Mate 20 Pro. Both photos have visible barrel distortion on the sides, although the S10 Plus captures a slightly wider shot. The image is a bit sharper too with the Mate 20 Pro, but a lot darker, whereas the S10 Plus captures a brighter image but details are comparatively poorer. All phones do a very good job with edge detection, and we had few if any anomalies such as unwanted blurring of any portions of our subject. The S10 Plus does a fantastic job with colors, skin tones, and the detail on our subject's face. The iPhone XS comes in at a close second. It uses a telephoto sensor to capture the shot, which is why the image looks a bit zoomed in. The Mate 20 Pro does a commendable job too with details and colors, although you need to keep in mind that the background blur can only be adjusted when shooting in aperture mode and not in the regular portrait mode. The Pixel 3 XL does a commendable job too, however it didn't handle the moire pattern on the shirt as effectively as others. With objects, the S10 Plus simply slays it, managing excellent edge detection, colors and detail. The second best is the Pixel 3 XL, but only in terms of edge detection, as the overall image is a lot on the cooler side. The Mate 20 Pro struggled a bit with edge detection, as this is the best shot we were able to get with it. The shot isn't sharp enough and the image is again on the cooler side. The iPhone XS simply cannot find the right edges even after multiple tries, which ends up blurring out the fingertips of our figurine. The Galaxy Note 9 didn't have the most impressive selfie camera, but on the S10 Plus, things seems to have improved. Details are a lot sharper on our subject's face, and thanks to the dedicated depth sensor on this model, edge detection is very good too. The exposure isn't the best, as a result the black shirt ends up looking a bit faded. The iPhone XS does an excellent job with skin tones, and the overall exposure is a lot more balanced. The bokeh is also done very well. The Pixel 3 XL once again has a more striking image thanks to a richer contrast, and a bokeh is smooth. The Mate 20 Pro delivered a slightly overexposed image similar to the S10 Plus, and details are a bit softer too. At night, with good amount of ambient light around, the S10 Plus manages a decent level of detail, but there's a reddish hue throughout the image, which looks as if a filter has been applied. The Pixel 3 XL undoubtedly has the best image here. The details, exposure and white balance of the Pixel 3 XL are all spot on. The Mate 20 Pro overexposes the background a bit, but details are still good. The iPhone XS manages decent level of details and exposure too, although it lacks the sharpness of the Pixel 3 XL. In extreme low light, we fire up the screen flash on all phones to see if we could get usable selfies. The S10 Plus does a commendable job here with skin tones and detail without introducing too much noise. The Pixel 3 XL's image once again looks the best, and it even manages to capture good details in the background. The Mate 20 Pro shoots slightly soft images, but it has a brighter screen flash of all. Selfies taken with the iPhone XS are a bit grainy, and overall the image isn't very bright. Now all 4 phones are capable of 4K video recording with no such time limits when shooting at 30 FPS, except for the Mate 20 Pro, which has a limit of 10 minutes per clip. So far, iPhones have been the gold standard when it comes to video recording, but the Galaxy S10 Plus is catching up quickly. Stabilisation is very good, colors are vivid and punchy, and there's no visible focus hunting even when moving about. The iPhone XS ties in with the S10 Plus here in our daylight tests. Both phones also do a very good job with capturing audio. The Mate 20 Pro and the Pixel 3 XL have slightly tinny audio in comparison, and the colors aren't as vivid. Up until the Galaxy Note 9, Samsung's flagships have struggled to produce usable footage in low light at 4K, as the stabilization caused a severe wobble effect. Now we're happy to say that this has been fixed to a large extent on the Galaxy S10 Plus. There's a slight shimmer effect when walking, but it's not too pronounced. Noise is also handled very well. The iPhone XS and the Pixel 3 XL tie in with the cleanest video, although you do get slightly better colors with the iPhone. The Mate 20 Pro makes colors look a bit too jarring, and the wobble effect is very pronounced as soon as you begin walking. Now while it's great that we can shoot at such high resolutions with a device that fits in our pocket, we think most people would typically use a 1080p or Full HD setting, as it's easier for sharing too. Now not much has changed when comparing to the 4K resolution test when shooting in daylight. The iPhone XS and the S10 Plus still capture the best footage, while the other two struggle a bit with exposure and audio. In low light, the S10 Plus and the iPhone XS tie in for first place as they produce the best image quality with minimal side effects from stabilization. Footage taken with the Pixel 3 XL appears a bit soft, although it does handle noise well. The Mate 20 Pro handles colors a lot better at this resolution, but there's still an unacceptable level of shakiness when you move about. Now, Samsung has done a pretty good job overall with the cameras on the new Galaxy S10 Plus. It still has some of the annoying traits that we've come to expect from Samsung's flagship cameras, such as overexposing scenes at times and boosting colors a bit too much. Now, on the other hand, we also get some notable improvements. The selfie camera is a lot better under good lighting compared to the Galaxy Note 9, and the dedicated depth sensor ensures accurate background blur around your face. Landscapes and low-light shots continue to impress us. However, it's nice to see that video has improved quite a bit too, bringing Samsung that much closer to the iPhone's performance. Finally, the wide-angle camera is easily one of the best out there as it captures really wide views with good detail and colors. If you want one of the latest flagships right now, then the camera capabilities of the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus definitely won't disappoint you. So thanks for watching, and for all things tech, log on to gadgets360.com.